Hi everyone, welcome back to Nautica Scientist. In today's episode in the SubNautica Below Zero walkthrough, we're going to be starting up a new file and just going to be showing you the best way to get started when playing SubNautica Below Zero. So I'm going to start by creating a new game in survival. This is the best way, in my opinion, to beat the game, and we're going to wait for it to load up. Okay, so we just loaded in. I'm going to...
This is the farthest I can take you on company space bucks, Robin. You sure you want this? The research is in everything.
It is to me. And Sam. I need to know what happened.
The meteor storm.
I can use it for cover from Altera's eyes.
Gonna miss you, Robin.
I'll find my way back.
Approaching 45-46 feet. Surface temperature is drop pod deployed.
I guess that was a nice little cutscene starting off the base. We're going to continue by going down this pathway to
Holy smokes!
the ocean.
That did not go as planned.
So
I
we're
should
just
find a
gonna
way
keep
into the
going in
water
this
and get
path.
to the drop pod.
And once you have made it to the water's edge here, gonna jump in and make sure you kind of swim towards the top because you don't want your oxygen to run out. But yeah, so we're gonna just swim to that drop pod location. Now when you start up your game, it might be a little bit different from mine because the drop pod lands in 3 different locations. Okay, so once you made it to your drop pod, you're gonna enter.
Found the drop pod.
So now you're gonna want to focus your attention towards starting to survive. So you're gonna need a few things to improve your quality of life here on this planet. So we're gonna start by building a few things. So after landing, you're probably gonna want to start by increasing your food and water, which is found in the corner. So let's go get something. Okay, right here. It's a nice fish.
New creature discovered.
Got a hoopfish. Arctic pepper. No, not that. Okay. But after you caught like a few fish, even this boomerang will be good.
New creature discovered. Oxygen.
Okay. So now that you've gotten some fish, you can cook it by going to sustenance, cooked food, cook both of them. Cook the boomerang and the hoopfish. And then by visiting your PDA, so for me that's big button in the center of the controller, but depending on what you're playing on, it'll change what button you have to click to enter your PDA.
Well, Sam, I guess I might as well gather some tools and resources before starting my search. Hope that radio tower's as easy to spot as Lil said.
Yeah, so now we're gonna try to get some things like flints. We're gonna need an oxygen tank, of course. So here are the recipes that they give you already. So to get fins and an oxygen tank, which would be great to have, We're gonna need some silicone rubber, titanium, and fiber mesh. So let's go get some silicone rubber, titanium, and fiber mesh. So depending on where you have landed or what direction your drop pod is facing, that'll determine where you can find these materials. So I'm gonna start by from here, just facing outwards, and I'm gonna head to my right and just kind of see where that takes me. So first of all, to find titanium, you're gonna see these little limestone outcrops like in the
Should
first
be able to use
SubNautica.
this.
They do have limestone outcrops, which you can use to find materials such as titanium and copper.
Oxygen.
Titanium and copper are pretty much one of the most important materials here, so you gotta find a ton of it to craft things you need. In your explorations, you might
Ribbon
come across
plants
ribbon
contain
plants.
electrolytic materials that can be used in energy storage.
Definitely grab those too. Those can be very important in crafting things like batteries, power cells. So as you swim around, grab titanium. That's one of the things we needed.
Oxygen.
Uh-oh. Don't forget about your oxygen, guys. Very important. So anyway, from the drop pod, we're gonna head in the right direction. So when you're facing your drop pod, you're gonna be heading to the right. And you're gonna keep going in this direction. You should eventually hit a giant rock wall, like I see it along here. That means we are going in the correct direction. As you see there, you're just gonna basically follow that rock wall. Especially if you landed where I landed from. You're gonna keep heading toward the right direction.
All Terra supply cache nearby.
Eventually, you'll get this notification about a supply catch. Yeah, that means you're going in the right direction. You want to be aware of those blowing fish. You saw that? Yeah, you want to be careful of that, because see them right there? They are very annoying and will totally cause you to freeze up and die, which we don't want to happen. So anyway, you have entered the creepvine forest if you hopefully have come the right way, which is fine. You are going to get some oxygen, and to get that silicone rubber, you need these seed clusters, which you're just gonna pick up. You don't even need a knife for those. So yeah,
New
we can start
blueprint
by picking up a few of
synthesized.
those. And before we harvest creepvine, we're going to need a knife. So you're gonna take that silicone rubber and some titanium and use it later on for further projects. Anyway, guys, let's head out. We're gonna head back to the drop pod to use this creepvine for several projects.
Oxygen.
Okay, so yeah, we have made it to pod, so we can go to basic materials and go to silicone rubber. We won't be needing lubricant just yet, so just get the silicone rubber. We'll save the rest of that grapevine for later. Then you're going to go to personal tools. And with that titanium you picked up earlier, you're going to craft a survival knife, which can be used for harvesting other things. Now the next thing you're gonna make, go to equipment and fins. Now, if you look down, you'll see that they are already equipped, so that's great. Now the next thing you're gonna make is get some creep vine back from where we came. I'm gonna skip to this part because you already saw where it is. Alright, so once you've kind of entered the western kelp forest, which is what I call it usually, you take out your knife and using your interact button, which for me is X, you're gonna keep hitting and collecting that creep vine with your knife, and then you're gonna start to swim back towards your drop pod to use this later. Okay, so before you head back to the drop pod, you're gonna want to pick up one other very important ingredient, that is titanium. So around your drop pod, you're gonna probably see these little rocks. Just pick up some, break them open by repeatedly pressing that interact button. And yeah, so you're gonna look around. You should see a few of them, like here's one right here. Now I'll get you the titanium.
Oxygen.
Don't forget about your oxygen, guys. Okay, so you can just continue to search. I would recommend getting a few pieces of titanium, very useful in the long run, but now that I've gotten enough pieces, I'm gonna head back to the drop pod and craft some items. So we're gonna start by making some fiber mesh, which we can then use to make our standard oxygen tank.
Adding additional blueprints to your databank. The
So now that
standard oxygen tank can be upgraded for deluxe and VIP breathing.
So I do have a few things here, which I'm gonna probably get rid of in a little bit. But now that you've crafted your oxygen tank, you can start by crafting some other things, such as a compass, and definitely a scanner. So the scanner is very important to make because it allows you to expand the blueprints in your PDA. So to craft that scanner, you're gonna use that extra piece of titanium you made, along with some ribbon plants and copper in the tools section to craft that scanner. But first you need the battery, which is why I recommend you gather that copper wire, copper ore, and that ribbon plant to create that battery. Now you have a battery, head to tools, hit scanner, and there you are.
All right, I have a scanner.
Now that you have the scanner, you can go scan fragments of something like a sea glide. So here's the interesting part. You're going to want to go looking around for something called sea glide fragments. Sea glides are very important tools that allow you to swim faster, have an upgrade indented map, and have almost like a light. So you don't even need to make a flashlight as long as you have the sea glide. So to find these fragments, you're gonna head towards that emergency supply cache and look on the ground for anything that looks like an old piece of technology, because that would probably be your sea glide fragment. Oops, oxygen. Okay.
Oxygen.
Yes, I know. Okay. It's definitely better to search for things by the day. Okay, so here we are. We found a first fragment. For me, it's about 213 meters from the emergency supply cache. So we are going to scan it with our scanner that we made. you do need 3 fragments, so we have to keep on looking. So I think that is the last one over here in this area, for me at least, so I'm gonna head out and continue to search more by the Twisty Bridges biome. Reached your drop pod. You're gonna head the direction opposite of it. So that is the west, because that's the western kelp forest. So you're gonna head south by going to your left, and you're gonna keep swimming in this direction.
And as you swim, the ice should become a little bit less frequent, and you will notice your biome becoming more bright.
Okay, so here's our second fragment. And as you keep going south, you're going to stumble into the eastern kelp forest, which is totally fine. And you're also probably going to encounter sea monkeys. So the very important thing about sea monkeys is, as you've just dropped, make sure you don't have anything near them. Okay, you don't want to have a knife, you don't want to have a scanner out near them, anything that's very important to you, because they will take it as if you don't have the AI in you, which I will not spoil, but you do not want to have anything near the sea monkeys because they will definitely take it from you and you have to make a new one. Okay, so here is our last sea glide fragment. After you've gotten all of your sea glide fragments, which, as I've stated, the best way to find them is just to swim around these shallow areas. We're gonna head back to the drop pod, and we're gonna look at the materials necessary to build the sea glide. So for the sea glide, we're gonna need battery, lubricant, copper wire, and titanium. So let's start by looking for those things. So for the battery, we need some pieces
Seek
of
fluid
implant,
intake.
and we need some copper, which I'm pretty sure I have already. Yes, okay, but if you needed to find some more, easiest way is to look for those outcrops that spawn everywhere. Right here is good. Get that copper. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab some titanium, and then we're good. Just need to grab that bladderfish. If you run out
New
of
creature
water,
discovered.
grab some bladderfish, make some water, totally fine.
New blueprint synthesized.
So now I'm gonna start crafting some things, especially like water. And that was not water, that was cooked bladderfish. That's fine. So now to build the sea glide, we're gonna start by crafting our battery. And some copper wire. So you need about 3 pieces of copper to do this. Then you're going to start by crafting some lubricant with those extra fine seed clusters. So make sure you definitely get a ton of those. And I believe the next thing... beads pulls? I don't remember. Yes, okay, so after you gather all those materials, you can craft your sea glide.
The Sea Glide is a personal transportation device used for high-speed freediving. Contains a built-in light and map.
So before you move on to the next part of the video, which will be getting a compass, you want to make sure you are fully charged, you got enough food, water, health to continue this. Alright, so now that I've increased my health and water levels, we are set to head into the Arctic kelp caves. So the biggest and most and easiest one I found that works for me is the Western Kelp Forest kelp caves. So to find this, you're going to go to just your emergency supply cache, and you've never actually explored this deep into the Arctic kelp caves, so we're going to be doing that now. So you just basically head to the kelp forest. You can use your sea glide or save its battery, totally fine. You're definitely going to need to craft a few batteries along your way, so but this should be able to last until we get to the Arctic kelp caves. And definitely be careful about the sea monkeys. Turn on your light, but it uses up a ton of battery, so I don't really recommend, but you totally can. I'm just gonna go all the way to the beacon. Just keep following the direction. Make sure no sea monkey takes it. After you've made it to
Oxygen.
the little platform, recharge your oxygen. And if you want, you can loot this area. You don't have to. But you can grab things like another PDA, which is important. Take some items. Anything you might need for your journey. You're going to go up. Just gonna get one more breath of oxygen because it can be kind of despairing down there. Grab your sea glide and head down into this little crater here. So the only thing that really could hurt you down here are crash fish, which is why I recommend you have a knife, because those are the only things so here that are extra predators. So what we're down here for is these Argonite outcrops. So you're gonna look for them and you're gonna pick up any silver ore that you can find. You just need 2 pieces, but I would get as many as you can because it can be kind of hard to find, especially at this part of the game. You definitely have to come down here tons of times for several items that we could need. You also see a ton of calverite outcrops. Don't worry, I'll show you a much easier way to get calverite outcrops when we need them later on in the game. But you're going to continue to just look. You shouldn't really need a sea glide or anything down here too much. Just be careful of your oxygen. You know, there's definitely an issue down here. So see that? Hear that noise? That's a crash fish. So that means there's one near. So, see there's one right there. I'm just gonna head on out because we got our 2 pieces of silver. And there's no reason to stay. So after you've gotten your 2 pieces of silver, you can head on back to the drop pod because it's all we're here for. Definitely gonna be coming back here a few times, so make sure you know where that beacon is and you are able to come back.
Just head on back to the drop pod and continue to get that info from the compass.
But anyway, so now that we're back, I'm going to check on what we need to make the compass. Okay, we just need some copper wire, so let's go and get that copper wire.
So, it's pretty easy. Just need to find 2 pieces of copper, and you should be able to copper. And I need another piece. Should definitely find a piece box down here. Titanium, I need that. I'll just titanium. Keep working. Now, give us a little box. Here's 2. Titanium.
Hoping this one actually has copper. Yes, okay. So now that we've gotten our copper, we're going to head back to the drop pod to craft the compass, because it is very hard to navigate without the compass, especially as you continue the game. You start by going to electronics, make that copper wire. Then you are going to, let me just see. Is it an equipment? Okay, and then you just need a wiring kit. So you're gonna head back to your electronics, and with those 2 silver ore, make that wiring kit. Then you're gonna head back to the equipment section and make that compass. So now if you look at the depth measure, you should also see a compass. But yeah, so this is my guide to how to start off your Subnautica file. Stay tuned for the next episode of the walkthrough, and thank you for watching.